humans, how's it going? Susan Ruth here. Thanks for listening to another episode of Hey Human Podcast. This is episode 289, and I had a conversation with Turhan Troy Caylak. He's a SAG Award-nominated actor from the HBO hit show Barry. His character is hilarious. He got his training at the Shakespeare Theater in DC and at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. He has been on a ton of shows. Euphoria, I mentioned Barry, Dead to Me, Face Swap, Designated Survivor, General Hospital, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Scorpion, American Odyssey. He tells all sorts of wild and fun stories about his life growing up. And we talk about NFTs, which he knows a lot about and I know nothing about, so that was really interesting. He tells a great story about Chris Evans. Yes, that Chris Evans. He talks a million miles an hour, and it's a blast trying to keep up. So I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. He and I have since become friends, and I just think he's a kick in the pants. No filter, no problem. And by the way, if you haven't seen Barry yet on HBO, it's incredibly funny. It's so well done, and Bill Hader is amazing. In other news, I just finished a book called The Bodies in Person by Nick McDonald. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. I personally think it's a must-read. It's about civilian casualties during Afghanistan and Iraq wars, and wow, it was a powerful read for sure. So Nick McDonald, McDonell. In other news, social media, Hey Human Podcast is on Instagram and Facebook. Susan Ruthism, if you want to find me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you can email me, susan@heyhumanpodcast.com. And if you go to heyhumanpodcast.com, you'll find the links page. Every episode gets its own pile of links, and they are all listed there on the links page. So you can do deep dives about any of the guests or subjects that have been on the show thus far in the past 5 years. Wow, 5 years, crazy. And review Hey Human on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. It's super helpful, and I really appreciate it. And if you want to check out more about what I do, go to susanruth.com. You'll get links to my music and my artwork and any projects I might be working on, as well as people interviewing me. So definitely check that out. You can also sign up on the mailing list there, and I send out mailers every so often, so you will not be inundated, I promise. Okay, I think that's about it. Let's get into this episode. Thank you for listening. Take care of each other. Be well. Be kind. And here we go. Turhan Caylak, welcome to Hey Human.
All right, well, thank you. Welcome. I always say I'm like bad at like salutations and greetings and stuff. When somebody says welcome, or they're supposed to say welcome, and I'm at their house, I always say welcome. I just like, I was born in America, but I'm for some reason.
I think that's polite, and that seems like a nice salutation. When somebody says welcome, and it's your spirit welcomes their spirit, welcomes your spirit. It's sort of a nice communion.
Good.
So maybe you're just naturally.
I'm gonna mess up continually with the welcomes and stuff like that. Yeah, and I always forget people's like to ask them their name when they go, "What's your name?" And I'll go. It doesn't seem like I don't care. I mean, it seems like I don't care, but I'm just like, I forget to even tell people my name.
Yeah.
When they tell me their name,
because I don't. How often do people mess up your name? Probably a lot.
A lot.
Did I do okay?
Yeah, it's really it's like Americanized. Like, so I was born in America, and my dad worked for the Turkish embassy, and that's why I was born here. And my mom and him are Turkish, and they met here in DC, and I didn't know my name was different. It doesn't occur to me until the teacher from kindergarten would say, Turhan Caylak here. And I go, oh, I have a different name, because back then in the 70s and 80s, there were more Jimmys and Jessicas and Bobs and Dans than there were like, my name is not so interesting.
I don't know that I've ever heard Turhan before. Is that common in Turkey?
It's not common in Turkey.
Okay.
In fact, my mom thought I was going to be a girl. Dude, check this out. So my brother, 17 months ahead of me, he was delivered by a Turkish doctor, the same doctor that delivered me, right? So my mom is having a baby, and it's me, and I'm a breech baby, so I'm already like on her shit list, right? And I have a big head,
It's the hat. You shouldn't have been wearing a hat.
I came out with this hat, I'm wearing a Hawaiian looking hat, so that's what she's talking about. Anyway, whatever. So I came out, and the doctor sees my private parts, and I'm a male.
Says, my God, it's an elephant.
Oh my God, look how big that ding dong is. Wow, you should name him a porn star name. Like if I had a porn name, it'd be Beef Wellington. So she didn't have a name for me. He goes, well, because my brother's name is Orhan. He goes, and he delivered my brother. Why don't you name him Turhan? And she's like, okay, I'm tired and in pain from delivering this fucking baby. I'll name him Turhan. So that's...
Your doctor named you?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I was a breech baby, so he had to turn me around. It was crazy. So...
Fantastic.
Yeah, so, growing up, like, I had the all-American life, like, I played sports. I mean, I excelled in sports and in Taekwondo and Kung Fu. Everything that me and my brother did, it was because of my mom. My mom said yes, my dad said no, or my dad was running all the restaurants that he owned in the tri-state area of Maryland, Virginia, whatever.
That's where you grew up?
Yeah, I grew up in Maryland, and then I'm in the middle of the year of my 13... Okay, let me back up a little bit. When I was 5 and my brother was 6, 7, my mom... So my parents were sort of forced to get married. Like...
Forced or arranged?
Like arranged in a way, but in America. My mom met my dad in D.C.
My parents had an arranged marriage too.
Oh, really? Mm. Oh, okay. We'll get to that on my podcast, okay?
Yeah.
No. So they met, and my mom never really loved my dad. She never has been with anybody else. He's dead now. They were divorced for 20 years, but they live in the same house. It was a really normal situation for us.
Wait, they lived together
while they were divorced. It was just a weird kind of what is it called? The Stockholm syndrome kind of thing. She did it for us. Even after we were older, I'm like, you could leave, and she did leave. But when we were 5, she snatched us, not like criminally, but I guess it could be considered. She took me and my brother to North Carolina, where her father in Asheville and her brother and sister lived, and they had businesses. I mean, this is the 70s. Like, what are Turks doing in Asheville, North Carolina? Anyway, so we went there, and I'm in North Carolinian school, and then all of a sudden I have this faint memory of my dad coming to my grandfather's restaurant with Mickey Mouse watches and wooing my mom back. And Mickey Mouse watches are the only watches I wear. I have 4 of them now, and it's if I wear any watches. Right now I'm not wearing one because it doesn't matter. Time is whatever you want to make it, I guess. So we go back to Maryland, live our lives there. But when we're 13, my mom goes in the middle of my 8th grade year, and this is 88, and heavy metal is big time right now. And if you were in the metal, you were very popular, especially where I was going to school. And she says, it's March. It's March of the 8th grade year, more than the half of the year. She goes, we're moving to North Carolina. Well, I said, when? In a week. And I was popular, and it's something that, yeah, and I'm I'm going to lose all my friends and all these girls, whatever. It's 8th grade feelings, and I just like the adulation, whatever. Who cares? Big deal.
Were you a hot 8th grader?
I was cute. I had a mohawk. Sweet. I was a skater.
Forget it.
I had a real mohawk. I used to put Elmer's glue in it. And I had this jean jacket with the sleeves cut off.
Oh yeah.
And I bleached it, and when I wore that, I swear to God, this sounds so dumb, and please forgive me. I'm not bragging. It's just a factual story. Girls in the school, they used to want to wear it after they would borrow it to wear after certain periods, and I'd get it back by the end of the day, or I'd have to get it back the next day. I felt like the Fonz, but I'm older now. It doesn't feel like that. Believe me. There were these 2 girls that would were vying for my attention, and I just didn't even know about it. And then I became friends with this other girl that had my jacket. She goes, hey. And she took a picture of it and sent it to me 8 years ago. And I go, where'd you get that? She goes, you gave it to Cassie, and I live next door to her, and she gave it to me, and it's hanging on my wall. And I'm mind blown. And then she came up to New York where I was living, and she brought it, and I tried to put it on, and of course I'm bigger now. Yeah. And I said, no, you keep it. It means more to you than it does to me, but that's so fucking cool, So what I was wearing was jean jacket, long hair, cute, but I was a metalhead. I was relegated to hanging out with these people called the Harleys, and they were these greaser types, dirty, always in ISS, which is in-school suspension. And I used to talk a lot, and I was a great student. I had A's and B's, and I went to school every day. I never missed a day, except for chickenpox for 5 days. I never missed a. My mom never had to wake me up, ever, 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 ever. My brother was a different story. I've lost my train of thought. So I'm back at the school.
Yeah.
So I'm back.
You're hanging with the ISS
Yeah.
kids.
So for 2 months, I'm like, this is the wrong crowd. I said, I'm an athlete. So I changed my clothes because, in 8th grade, you change your clothes to one other genre, you're in that crew, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I started playing baseball and football, and then I excelled, and I'm glad I did because if I didn't move to North Carolina, we wouldn't have won the state championship when I was a senior. And our baseball team is still the only team in the history of like that school for 60 or 70 years that's won a state championship. And I still have the dirt in my medal box that I received because I took the medal out and put the dirt from third base inside and I taped it up. And it's like I just did it, and the other team members started doing it too, and whatever. It was kind of cool.
Are you sentimental?
I am.
Yeah, you sound like it.
I am sentimental.
When's your birth month?
April.
April. Oh, did we talk about this?
Yeah, I don't know. April 2nd is my birthday.
Oh, you're Aries. I'm April 23rd.
Oh yeah, that's my cousin's birthday. We talked about that. Yeah, my cousin Aisha, who lives in North Carolina. She's a great hairdresser for curly-headed women.
Ooh, tough one.
She found her niche and she's killing it.
That's awesome. I would love to have curly hair.
Yeah.
It's down just a hair.
Yeah, sure.
You have a very
booming voice. I know. I'm so sorry.
No, please don't be.
Yeah, it's your fault.
I know. Everything is. That's what I hear.
Yeah, you should go back home.
Because I'm a woman.
You are a womb with a W and then an N. You're a woo-man.
Woo-man.
The Woo-Man Clan.
That's like a Portlandia sketch.
Oh, yeah? I love Portlandia.
I
love Sleater Kinney, too, the Kelly Brownstein's band.
Yeah, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, yeah?
Which is where
I did a commercial in Oregon back in 2001, 4 months after September 11th, and it was the best time I ever had. I mean, everyone, like, there was this famous model dude. His name was Shine or something. He was a good-looking white dude, and I was, like, the star of this, like, Cellular One commercial. And we did one day of shooting. I was there for 3 days. He goes, let's go out. And he took me to all these strip clubs, and it wasn't dirty.
Oregon is different.
Yeah, Oregon is different. I was blown away, and I was in the bathroom, and I met the lead singer of Alien Ant Farm. And, dude, this guy had a beard at the time because he didn't look like the clean-shaven dude that was in the video that made them famous. And I was peeing next to him, and then, an hour passed or whatever, we're leaving, and I saw him outside kissing this girl, and we were all leaving. He goes, I said, take care, man, and he stopped kissing this girl, and then he pulled down his pants, and I've never seen the biggest dong on a white, it was like 12, it was like hanging like a piece of salami at an Italian.
The kind you'd run and hide from.
Yeah, definitely. Unless you like that sort of thing.
I watched a documentary once about a guy who had I think it was 17.5-inch penis. And when he couldn't get full erect because he'd probably lose consciousness. And he couldn't really have a healthy sex life because women could only, he was heterosexual, women could only take him in so far.
Yeah. I can only take you in so far, bro.
You'd have to attach, a gourd on there or something.
My God.
But I think that's more of a traumatic situation. When you're standing next to a guy when you're at the urinal, is it one of those things where you kind of check, or do you just stare straight ahead?
Oh, I never check their penis, but I always ask. I say, "How's your penis doing? How's your dick, man?" What? What are you talking about, dude? How's your dick?
But is it awkward? Or do men not care? Because I know women, they'll go and they'll be like, "Oh, look at my boob. Oh, doesn't my boob feel weird?"
Sometimes, like if you're at a sports bar or something like that, and it's something like you just take a break because it's halftime. You go in, you kind of like go, "Oh man, the Bengals or whoever you're watching is losing," or you can talk, but we don't ever talk about our penises unless it's like a penis bathroom where you're going to have sex and it's like meant for that. Like,
sure, I didn't mean it like, do you say, "Oh, nice penis"? I meant, do you have to just stare straight ahead? Yeah,
I kind of like look straight ahead, and I try to relax so it can like funnel out. Yeah. I don't try to, because when there's noise in there and people come in, it's sort of like jumping into cold water. It's like, shut up, please. Or
it is odd that they make men go to the bathroom together.
Yeah, but
the women, they don't do that.
I guess. They don't all
go to a trough or anything. Could you imagine?
Yeah, I don't know, but my friend, I had a friend who told me that like in like Estonia and like places like Finland, I may be mistaken, but Estonia definitely, every household has a sauna.
Yes. Estonia especially.
Oh, dude, and they don't think of body parts the way that we do in America. We commercialize it and sexualize it. I hear that teachers, when they meet their students, they will go into a sauna naked, and it's nothing sexual, pedophilic, or anything like that. If you go to a party, everybody starts in the sauna and hang out there, and it's just not even a thing.
My friend Kalev, who is Estonian, talks about that culture. And yeah, it's very much rooted around the sauna culture. But so is Turkish.
Yeah. Well, I went to the Turkish bath
for
with
the males, I think. I don't know. When
I went to a Turkish bath with my dad, and we're like, he's naked, and he has a big one, by the way. One time, me and my brother got in a fight. We got in a serious fight. I was 20 years old, and I pushed his head. I mean, my brother came home drunk one time, and he put his dick on top of my forehead, just joking around.
That's a classic.
And I had to wake up early for a big show, and I was so mad. He went to go shave or something like that, and I pushed his head into the mirror. For some reason, I just pushed too hard, and I didn't mean to do that because I love my brother. And then my brother's no pussy though. My brother will fucking knock you out, and he's has some whatever. So me and him are wrestling. My dad's taking a shower in the bathroom that I pushed my brother in. My dad comes out naked, and his dick is smacking us in the face, and we're like, okay, we're done. We're he's not smacking us on purpose. It's just he didn't have a towel on because he's trying to save his sons from hurting each other. And I never would hurt my brother. I'd more just hold him tight.
My brother and I would get into scrapes. Yeah, I love him to the moon and back. So.
Yeah. See, I told you beforehand, I might start 5 subjects and we'll loop back, but I forgot.
I'm glad that this has now turned into a penis podcast.
Oh yeah.
It's my favorite subject.
It's one of my Pen 15 is one of my favorite shows. Those girls are killing it. They're killing it, by the way.
That show is funny.
But if nobody just checked it out, Pen 15 is very good on Hulu. But
have you been on it?
I haven't been on it.
Okay.
But I was just on Dead to Me, and I played Christina Applegate's doctor in episode 1 of season 3, and I got to work with her for 2 days and Linda Cardellini, and they were awesome. And especially, I just really connected with both of them, but I really super connected with Christina because predominantly my dialogue was with her. And I hugged her, and she was in this hospital bed in the scene, and I had some simpatico, and she's one of the best actresses I've ever worked with, and I just couldn't believe it was an icon, but yet here she is now, and she's being so kind to me and amazing. I felt like we were friends forever.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, dude. Oh, I love her.
I'm always happy when I hear that celebrity folks are kind and good.
Oh, there's no reason not to be. It's I
agree with you, but that isn't always the case.
It isn't, and I don't know. It's the way I look at people when they shit on other people is if you're the prince of some country or the king, or you've been exalted in your mind in some way, is that they took a shit that day, and it probably smelled. If I'm going to reduce it to that, is just take all that other shit. The value that we assess or assign to things. It's no. Some people that wear I love David Bowie, right? Or they'll get a David Bowie shirt, or they'll get a John Lennon, working class hero shirt, which I fucking love John Lennon. I just bought an original print of the Plastic Ono Band the other day, and I couldn't believe I got it for the price I got it at. So I'm definitely a fan. I'm not hating on the stars. But when people wear these t-shirts, it's especially here in LA, that most people in LA, to me, although I've met some cool people, I have a lot of good friends, and I'm not dishing on LA, is that they're too busy. People in general are too busy being the t-shirt and the cool image on the t-shirt, rather than David Bowie, who took a shit every day and read books and made a banana and peanut butter sandwich, possibly. I don't know if he ate that, but he's just a human being that is playing a character, and I just feel like people don't value their own selves as much as the things that they buy into.
What keeps you grounded? Because you do a lot of work.
I do all kinds of work. What keeps me grounded is I don't drink alcohol. I used to, and I'm a very creative person. Every day I'm spinning 4 or 5 plates.
Yeah, you do that in a sentence.
I do that in a sentence, and I have to walk away sometimes, and taking a walk with my daughter's dog, who she lives next door to me, or just getting in the car and just driving around for an hour gets you away from that, and that's helpful. Living life is helpful for your creativity, right? And you can hear this from anyone, but I'm very interested in a lot of things, and anything that I'm interested in, I try to not necessarily master it. It's more generally good at it and excel until it peters out. I was always, when I was a kid, I used to always beat on the desk when I was a young kid, because I loved hip hop, but also rock music, and I used to air guitar a bunch, and I used to drum solo to song, air drum solo, and I said, you know what, I'm tired of air drumming, I'm tired of air guitaring. I bought a guitar and drums, and I started applying those same movements, and I'm like, I can already play the drums. I want to accomplish things. When my dad didn't have good English at all, never learned it really well, even though he was here for 50 years. He lived till he was 87. But my mom spoke no English, but she was, when she moved here, but she was a valedictorian in her school in Turkey. And her mom was a judge in Turkey. A female judge in Turkey back in the 40s, 50s is unheard of, right? So I learned by reading the dictionary every day. If I read something, what is that word? I'd look it up. If it's like a song today, I have my Shazam ready. Like, I love that. I dig into like playlists. I create playlists. I'm always looking to blow my wig back and go,
You're a curious person.
I'm very curious. Yeah. And if it's something interesting, I will go down a rabbit hole to figure it out until I go, okay, this is not for me, or I'm spreading myself too thin.
Sure.
So the things that keep me grounded are like breathing, staying like, sober, especially from like alcohol and stuff like that, which I think sets you back if you're not very good at it. Since I'm sort of an addictive personality, it's like, it's almost not even the drink that's doing it, it's what's behind it that's doing it. You know what I mean?
I do.
So I feel like, well, I don't want to feel like that. And especially, I also developed an allergy to alcohol. If I have 2 drinks, I get a headache right away. It's not good for me. It's
your body.
Yeah.
Giving
it's
you
just I've had enough of it. I've had time with it. I think people, you can drink it, but I think if you think that alcohol or drugs are not getting in the way of your success, they are, but it's also your own infrastructure that is. Your infrastructure is. And I'm here to tell you that you can do this. You are this world isn't about you at all. It's about all of us, and you got to know how to dance with the cosmos with that. You got to be like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix when he finally can duck and bend back and watch the bullets. That's what you got to do. And that's the way that I imagine my life. And I'm not always perfect at it. Sometimes it's not people that are speaking to you to tell you that you should go this way or that way. It's the universe speaking through them. So if you're getting like, hey man, like if you're drunk and you're texting and you're in a fight, don't do that. That's not very good. That's to your own demise. Now you got this fight thread that you got to hold on to until you put water on it and finish it. But if you don't catch it, you're going to do it again. It's like the way you do anything is how you do everything. A lot of people here in LA, fastest one to the red light. Okay, great. I just got there 5 seconds later. Hey, how you doing? Like,
yeah, that's always been such a mystery to me. The people that
rush up it's a part of like, it's a part of just nobody wants to be here right now, and also there's no police presence, and they know that. So you got like illegal street racing, which I just totally abhor, but I get it. It looks fun. I've never been in a car like that, but I've been in a lot of fast cars, but not in a souped up car. Like, I don't want to dish on those people because they're living their life and whatever like that. But I think it's super ridiculous, whatever. I think there's a lot of baller aspects of life you can go do, and a lot of value, and you can make better money, and a lot of value of your time can be used to, because the idea of money to me is to be able to give back to people.
Don't you feel that some of that stuff, I was walking around Echo Park at the lake there, and they were doing the milk carton. There was a group of people doing the milk carton challenge thing where you have to run up the milk carton and then run back down without it falling over. It's very dangerous. A lot of people,
the milk, yeah.
A lot of people gotten hurt. And it's an interesting thing because as I was watching, the guy that finally did achieve it won a big bag full of money that everybody had put into the kitty. But it was really fascinating to watch everybody gather around and watch this human interaction we were all cheering for this guy to make it. Like, please make it.
Yeah.
And then there's the guy who's doing it where he knows he's at a disadvantage. He knows it's dangerous. In all likelihood, he's going to get hurt. And yet he does it anyway because I think there is something innate in us that we constantly want to push the boundary of our existence, of our humanness, to see what we can what we're capable of, what we can push past.
Exactly. And I don't want to diss on illegal street racing at all. I think it's like I've actually watched them do this, the donuts like on Pico La Cienega, or
I've never seen that.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. And so I'm fascinated too. I just personally I wouldn't go free climb. Like, it's awesome to watch.
Terrifying.
So I can't hate on something that I don't fully understand, but I will watch it. I just feel like it's crazy because there are other people involved, and you're going to hit a car, and they're going to drag somebody down into a wormhole of finances and not having their car and whatever. So it's all about, like, is that good for the collective? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I'm not perfect. Like, a lot of people go, I don't know why you're into NFTs or crypto or whatever like that. I'm like, well, if you would have talked to me in January, I wouldn't even know what an NFT is. But now, like, I'm such an enthusiast that, like, somebody who's illegal street racing is like, nah, dude, I'm making money street racing. Like, that's what they do. Yeah. You can make money selling pickles. In fact, you can make money selling digital pickles, which is a very interesting thing.
Yeah, and the NFT thing is fascinating. That's really taking off.
Oh, it's crazy. I don't look at money the same way.
Is it okay? Wait,
yeah, ask
me.
Yeah,
Is NFT?
I was about to pick up your microphone and drink it because I thought it was my water
bottle?
Yeah, I drink a microphone.
Stranger things have happened in this room. So is NFT akin to Bitcoin? Is it valued like that, or do you buy NFT with Bitcoin?
You buy NFTs with either you can buy it on many different things right now. You can buy it with Ethereum. They're mostly predominantly on the Ethereum blockchain, okay? And you can...
Is Ethereum a kind... I'm going to ask you a million questions. Yeah. Is Ethereum a kind of Bitcoin?
It's not a Bitcoin. No, it's its own thing. It's a smart contract, and it's, in a way, it's better than Bitcoin to an extent. It's doing something that Bitcoin can't do, but Bitcoin is something that has layer 2 security. It's beyond. Bitcoin started as an answer back to 2008 derivative subprime loans and how the government basically fucked everybody.
Yeah.
And so I think everybody in the world should be able to click a button and to be enthusiastic about clicking a certain button legally and to make money to be able to change their lives, because there are shitty people in the world that make money, that do shitty things and continually to do shitty things, but there are very good people that want to provide life and experience it in a different way with wealth, because some of those people give back. They give back and they start things. And some people say, well, NFTs, there's no value, and some people are not working anymore. I'm like, it's because some people will continue to work their regular jobs, and that's fine. But these people are trying to dream in a way that they can actually access that dream previously to NFTs or in crypto when they're working at McDonald's. Nothing against McDonald's, but like, I don't think everybody wants to work at McDonald's that currently works there.
Also, you can't really argue that a thing has no value. Everything has a value based on what someone is willing to pay for it.
Exactly.
That's how economics works.
So right now, this might be over some people's head, but a lot of people that listen to this will kind of understand it. Ethereum is a blockchain, and a lot of NFTs are built on that blockchain. So when a company like wants to sell digital rabbits, like 10,000 different looking digital rabbits,
meaning it's like artwork.
It's artwork that's still animated. Sometimes it's motion graphic, and there's usually one. If they're releasing 10,000, there's 1 through 10,000, and each one of those is rare from each other, and so they're listed. If you mint it on a site, minting means basically the website goes, minting is live. You have money in your digital wallet. You go to the website, you connect your digital wallet, which has this long string of numbers and letter characters that is personal to you, and nobody else has that public address.
So does it take American or Chinese yen or whatever to take money to buy Ethereum?
No, what it does is you have to take USD, which is, the dollar. You buy the US dollar, you buy Ethereum with that, you send Ethereum to your digital wallet.
I got it.
And then your digital wallet now reads that as Ethereum. So when you go mint on the Ethereum blockchain, because this rabbit NFT or this frog NFT or this bored ape, which I own, I'm early in on that, by the way. I got in on February, so I'm like a granddaddy in that, and it's like unbelievable. It's like right behind CryptoPunks. It's unbelievable what's going on with Bored Ape Yacht Club. So So back to the rabbits. So when they go, hey, we're minting right now live, and you've already followed their Twitter and their Discord channel where they're all communicating, and you kind of see the positivity and their growth and what their following is and who's following them, you go, okay, this might be good. And the mint price is like 0.05, which could be, I don't know, what's that, $200 right now? And you go, all right, I want to buy 3 of them. You're going to pay gas fees because ETH miners are going to charge you, and if you buy, usually it's congested, so the gas fees go up. But it's like if you buy it, you could make a lot of money later, and so the gas fees become a thing of the past. You don't even think about it because you're playing a different game now.
It's like Second Life on steroids.
Oh, dude, it is, and so I'm invested into this company called Star Atlas. It's an unbelievable space exploration game where you can fight humans, robots, and aliens, and the SFX programming of this game is not just a game to fuck around and get nerded out with. It is a game where everything's an NFT. You can fight humans, aliens, or robots by planets throughout this exploration game, and it's got its own 2 currencies. And why was I telling you this? It's because so everything is in it. It's an NFT, and it's got future utility. And so people can go stake their NFTs on there, make money. I can watch you play and not play at all, and I can make money by staking my NFTs on your fucking planet. It's unbelievable. I don't even care about playing.
Sounds bonkers,
dude. It's crazy. If you'd have told me about what back in January, what NBA Top Shot, like my friend who got me into that, I'd be like, what the fuck are we doing? Top Shot got a little diluted because they did too many. They did too many releases.
I don't know what that is.
NBA Top Shot are these digital moments that you can see on YouTube, but people buy them because it's like buying like a basketball card, like a physical basketball card, but you're seeing digital video moments with 3 different directions, and they have their own their ranking system. So I got out of that. Once I got into Bored Ape, I was totally into the NFT avatar space. So it's just crazy. So basically, when the drop goes on, your digital wallet is basically fornicating with the mint site. So the artists that created these rabbits are like making 10 different body types, 10 different hats, 20 different eyes, 20 different mouths, 20 different clothing, whatever. And it as your digital wallet is fornicating with this site, the algorithm is juggling them around, picking this body type, picking this hat, and then out comes your rabbit. And then
so it's randomized.
It's randomized.
Interesting. So when you got the Bored Ape,
Bored Ape.
What did you pay for that?
When I got it, I paid 0.3 ETH for it. At the time, it was $900.
And now what's it valued at?
It's valued at $150,000
now,
or $160. Yeah.
With Bitcoin, I know that it went up and down in Dogecoin or Dogecoin, however you
pronounce
that. That you are also in a bit of a crapshoot, right? Because what happens if it just all gets pulled out from under you? Is that part of the excitement of it? Well,
part of the excitement of it is that you can grow wealth, but also is the trepidation of like when to get out. And so the word is from my intel, because you can't do it alone. That's what's great about it. You don't do it alone, and you keep your own money, right? And it's just unbelievable. I just fucking love it. I'm so glad that the universe, whoever spoke to me, like I'm talking with my best friend from high school every day. He owns about 9 or 10 Bitcoin. He bought back, he manages like 16 others, and I'm just in this world.
My brother has Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's a great community. Everybody's positive because you're like, oh my God, you're up. Oh my God, you're up. All right. Okay, life's changing. But you got to know when to go out. You got to be able to take profit and feel that, because what's the point of investing if you don't feel the profit? So what happens is at the end of this year, there's going to be a crash. And so you want to beat that crash, pull out, and then you want to buy back in when it at the low.
It's like the stock market.
Yeah,
it is.
So with some things, I'm going to hodl through. I'm going to probably going to hodl my Bored Ape. I should have bought 20 of them because I had enough money to buy 20 of them, but you don't know what's going to pop, but it just did. It's one of those things.
What makes this more exciting for you than, say, putting your money in the stock market and watching that?
I'm going to tell you this right now to anybody who's listening. You can make money in the stock market, right? I pulled everything out of the stock market to get into because I got a phone call and for my best friend from high school, and he told me to get into Ethereum last March. And I said, dude, I just put a bunch of money into a stock, fiat into the fiat market. I was excited about that. I made some returns, decent returns. I was like, okay, great. I feel good about it. But right when he told me that, I go, dude, he goes, yeah, Ethereum's 126. So I didn't jump on it. So he called me a little bit later, and I still didn't jump on it. It was growing to 300, and I said, oh man. He finally called and he goes, I said, dude, you need to slap me through the phone when you really need me to do something. He goes, I'm slapping you. So that night, I took everything out. The next day, I bought like 30 or 40 Ethereum and some other things. And it's been life-changing ever since. You know what I mean? But you have to know when to get out and play that. It's not like, oh, if I can't go anywhere for 2 months and just not check. That would be stupid. My goal is to...
You have to be really active, unlike the stock market
yeah,
where you can chill out for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an actor and a screenwriter, so I'm juggling a film that we're doing in the spring. It's a high school comedy with the producer of American Pie, and so please look out for that. I'm very excited about that.
Do you know the title yet?
Yeah, it's called Rock Yard. Yeah. It's filled with rock music. I wrote a bunch of music. Right when the COVID happened, we were starting season 3 of Barry in 2020 of March.
Best show.
Yeah, best show. We're in the middle of shooting right now.
I love that show.
Season 3 finally.
So
but when that stopped, I go, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn Ableton. So I have this friend. I already had a music program, but I wanted to learn Ableton. So she gave me a tutorial on it for free. I plugged in. I have a wealth of songs, and I just did 10 demos. I've done 30 or 40 now, but I did 10 demos. Sent them to my friend in Connecticut who's been in major bands, and he goes, dude, I love this. He goes, I'm going to send it to my partner. And his partner is a big fan of Barry and my character. I play Akhmal, by the way. I'm the king of Suckballs Mountain dude, if anybody gives a shit. It doesn't really matter, but it was very
great
fun.
Moment.
Yeah.
And it was slightly improv, right?
It was improv, yeah. And Bill Hader goes on Conan and tells that story, which I'm like, somebody sent me that video when I was at a wedding. I go, holy shit, what? Because you have to vet those stories on those shows, and he always tells me it's the best line of the whole season. Do you know
what I love about Bill Hader?
He's the best.
He's a fantastic actor. But his laugh is the best thing in the whole world.
He loves to laugh. I think it's kind of easy to make him laugh. If it's the right kind of comic thing, he's going to bust. And he is like, on the set, it's like best joke wins. I mean, he's not taking like, hey, who wants to write a joke if you're on set? It's not like that. But sometimes we chirp up, and it's like a riff thing, and I fucking love it. It's great. That's
very lovely.
And best crew.
Allow that to... That interchange.
Top best crew I've worked on is that one. I mean, I've worked on a lot of top crews, but I always just remember that one because I've been there for so long, for 2 seasons, and it's like going away for summer school and coming back, and everybody loves you, and it's all good. And I got nominated as by SAG Award, and I was like, what?
Such a great character.
Yeah.
That whole group of characters is hilarious.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's so
well written.
Yeah, it is, and it's great to Henry Winkler's amazing, and Anthony Carrigan. Oh, dude, and
it's fantastic.
There's this new guy that I love. His name is JB. Oh, dude, he's great. And my buddy Nick Yandar, who plays my partner on the show. I've made some best friends. It's really great.
Do you find that you get cast in roles where you are going to have an accent because of your heritage, or do you think that? Do you think you get typecast more or less? Or
it's kind of interesting because I do to an extent. When I moved here, like, I'm proud of my name Turhan. It's like it's like Joe to me, whatever. It's like the Joe of, it's not that common, but it's like I'm totally cool with it. I'm like the Turkish guy who has a state championship. That's what my band Johnny Muhammad's about. Johnny Muhammad is about this Americanized guy who has a Muslim and Turkish background that was born in the 7th state of the Union in Maryland, of all places, that had a very American life. So Johnny, American, Muhammad, Arabic, Turkish, whatever. And so rock music is my shit, rock and punk, and that's my whole thing. And it's like, it's all metaphors to me. So the Turhan thing is just a name. I'm not really Turhan. I'm just the person that was named that. You know what I mean?
That. I always say my name doesn't feel like me. Whenever anybody says my name, I'm like, oh, that's not my name.
I like Susan. They should name some more babies Susan and bring that shit back, because I like those. I like Janet, Susan. I like Carol. I love those fucking names.
They're old school.
Karen's getting a bad name too. But if you held a baby right now, a cute little baby, and she was passed around the room and said, "This is Karen," I'd fucking melt. I wouldn't be thinking of the people that are there, being exposed.
She's gonna grow up and want to talk to the manager.
But back to your question though. So when I moved here, my managers, who I got right away because of my credits from New York, because I was there for 20 years, and incredible shows, and they said, hey, we're not forcing you, but because we can't do that, but you don't have to. But if you had an Americanized name as your first name, we can get you into rooms for foreign roles and white guy roles or whatever that is. And I was like, sure, let's try it, So Troy's my, nickname, whatever like that. So I was like, I tried that for a while, and it worked because I play like, a Russian assassin on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and, but I also I played 3 doctors this year. I was a doctor on Euphoria. I was a doctor with no accent, like with the way I talk. I was a doctor to Christina on Dead to Me. And I was a doctor to Joe Mantegna in this new Amazon show with no accent, just like regular dude talking. So it's like, it's working for me. I'm a character actor. So it just became that. But I can see in New York, because back in NYU, I went there from 95, 98. I was auditioning while I was in school.
So you've always wanted to do acting?
No. No. I wanted to play football for the Cincinnati Bengals ever since I was 7 years old. Why Cincinnati? I'm from Maryland. I should have been a Redskins fan, but Cincinnati, I know a lot of people are going to hate on that. I don't care. You love who you love, and that's it. And I hate it too, believe me. If I want to own the Bengals one day, that's how much money I want to make, so I can get rid of the Brown organization who runs them, because they don't know what they're doing. I'm sorry. You heard it from me first. So when I was 7 years old, 1981, the Bengals have striped helmets. Yeah. I've never seen this before. Apparently, they changed them that year to striped helmets. They used to be stenciled Bengals on the side of their head. Boring, And they were playing the Redskins. They play Redskins every year for the preseason. Just about every year. And I said, I like that team. I'm going to follow them. That year, they went to the Super Bowl, played the 49ers.
Because of you.
Because of me. I took my head, I buried it in this couch at my house. It was a 1-seater. And I said, God, I don't know where I had the mindset to talk like this and to think like this, but this drive that I have, I just have a tremendous drive, every day inspired. I know it's too much for a lot of people to handle, but I don't care. That's who I am. And I want to help anybody who wants to be like that or to exacerbate that. So I stuck my head into this couch so nobody could hear me but God. And I said, God, don't you dare fucking make me taller than 6'4". And that was the number, because I used to collect the cards of all the football players, and I used to memorize their stats, their weight, their height. And so I was kind of like, where do I want to be? And I'm only 5'11". I didn't know that I was going to be 5'11". I thought I was going to be super sixth. But when I was in 10th grade, I was like, oh my God. And I could bench, in my senior year, I could bench like 315. So you could imagine every day, going to school every day. I never wanted to miss school because I had the other wherewithal to go, who's going to raise my hand if I'm not there? Who's going to say present? There's nothing to do at home. You could do shit at home, but I wanted to be where the action was, right? That's why I went every day. Never skipped a class, ever. So I was on a trajectory, star baseball player, star football player, always. Me and my brother took kung fu, karate for taekwondo for 10 years or so, and we were fighting champions. Because my brother got me into it. We excelled at the same rate. I met Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, at a Falls Church, Virginia major tournament. I was 11 years old, shook Brandon Lee's hand, and he watched me win 3 first-place trophies, beating about 3,000 kids in every category. And then we just didn't do it anymore. But I wanted to play football, and when my senior year was coming, I was only getting Division III offers. It just occurred to me, I go, oh my God, I don't want to be Rudy Rudiger and play Division III. I don't want to get banged up like that. I'm not getting sought after. And I go, oh my God, I didn't apply anywhere. Where am I going to go to school? So I said, you know what? My dad's a chef. He owns a bunch of restaurants. I'll go to culinary school. So I went from North Carolina to Charleston, South Carolina, to Johnson & Wales University. And the first day, I had 2 30-year-old roommates and my best friend. And these 2 30-year-old guys were cooking something in the kitchen, and it smelled really bad, and it wasn't food. And I'm like, what is that? And I saw their arms, and they both had tattoos that said Tweakin' on it. And this is 1993, before raves were coming about, or just about. They just didn't have a name yet. And they go, they begrudgingly, because I was their new roommate, they didn't know if I was cool or not. They go, we're making crank. So I got into, slowly but surely, this crazy crank, mushroom, weed, acid business, and I didn't know why. It was sort of like I was kind of I was forced by association, and I could go into it. I already wrote a screenplay about it years ago. But I had to get out of there. And when I got out of there, when I got on the plane to get out of there, my parents moved from North Carolina to Maryland. They didn't tell me right away because they had housing and escrow stuff to deal with. And I go, you guys moved to Maryland? Thanks for telling me. I said, I'm moving back home. My mom was like, I'm so glad that you're coming back home. Because I didn't bust my cherry yet. Leaving home was hard. Plus the drugs there, and I went to school every day. It was crazy. I don't even want to go into the details. That's for another time. You can have me back if you want. When I got on that plane, I was sitting between these two very heavy, chubby, rotund, corpulent guys. And today, I wouldn't want to do that ever. I like my space, but I was a kid. I was like 19, and I was like, I couldn't be happier because I'm only flying 2 hours, and just sitting between those pillow humans for that whole ride, I was just like, my life is going to change. And it was Christmas time. After Christmas, my mom's like, we're at the junior college. I went to Rockville, Montgomery College before I transferred to NYU. She goes, 7:30 in the morning, look at the syllabus or like look at the index of classes. I go, she goes, what do you want to take? I landed on this page, theater. I said, I'm going to take those first 5 classes. And that's how I am. I'll get all the way fucking in when I feel something, or I'll get all the way fucking out if I don't feel it anymore, if I feel, But the confusion is a good thing because it means you're about to make a move or tectonic plates are moving and shit. So the first day of theater class, it was this old musty theater, and I was sitting on top of it, and the about 10 people, and I was just looking around, and I was like, I'm never turning back. I love the smell. I love what's going on. You can be black, gay, short, fat, no legs, one eye missing, trans. Of course, you can be a girl, and tall, whatever, all the things, and you can be an actor. Now, what? That's great. So I fucking got into that. I learned how to dance. I got into ballet because I was in a professional ballet modern dance company because the taekwondo and kung fu and the suppleness and the stretching abilities and that informed that. And then the muscles I had to just sort of loosen up a little bit so I can move across the stage.
You're very live.
Yeah, thank you. I learned how to tap dance. I had to do a show where I had to tap dance. It was a show called Me and My Girl. I studied opera. I used to do recitals. I could sing Nessun Dorma, E Lucevan le Stelle. I mean, all the high, above middle C kind of stuff. Even Carmina Burana has a D flat.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. I used to be able to do that. Now I have a rock voice. Like I can go up like fucking Axl Rose.
See your show.
Oh, dude, I'll drop a song to you. The name of my band's Johnny Muhammad. Johnny, and then Muhammad, Mohamid. I'm on Spotify. I just dropped a couple of songs. I haven't done any heavy promotion, but the movie's going to help with that, and I probably will. I'll probably do a video soon. But it's like melodic, heavy rock, just great catchy tunes. Yeah. And I just love that shit.
I realized after I'd seen it, I was like, oh my gosh, you did it again.
I was about to grab your mic and drink that shit. Should I just pour water on it and drink it?
Maybe.
It'll be an electrical podcast.
Yeah, that's right. And before we go, you were the cab driver. I loved it. I watched that movie. I thought it was great. I love indie films anyway. But you had so much presence in that. It was a smaller scene.
Well, which cab driver?
You were the cab driver when Chris Evans' character is walking. Yeah, and
Before We Go with Chris Evans.
It's funny because I was like, wait a minute, why do I know that face? Because our mutual friend Chris told me, you should interview Turhan. He's great. And I was like, okay. She's like, he talks a million miles an hour. I'm like, great, perfect. And then after we had talked on the phone, I was like, wait a minute, because you had such a funny moment in that movie. It was maybe 3 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
But it really was this great interchange.
It was an uncuttable scene, and I knew it when I auditioned for that. First of all, I love Chris Evans, the way he treated me. Can I tell you a little bit about? So when I auditioned for that thing, it was like New York, how you doing? What's going on? New York guy, how you doing? What's going on? I said, hey, listen, he wasn't in the room, of course. And the casting person who I knew, that I said, hey, can I just also do a Middle Eastern one? Because you'll have 2 audiences. Yeah, sure. We weren't thinking of that. Sometimes they don't want to say that because it's like, but I was like, offered it, and they went with that. So I booked it. Get to set. The set is New York City. The set is Grand Central Station, outside, in a real cab. 100 people on crew, thousands of people walking, doing their own thing, because they see this shit all the time, but some people are watching. It's dark. I'm sitting there. Lines are always tight. I got my lines. I'm sitting in this cab, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm going over my lines. All of a sudden, Chris Evans, fucking handsome devil, he comes over, ducks his head into the cab. He goes, okay, we're going to rehearse. And that's all he says to me. Not like a dick, just that's what we're going to do. I said, okay. So he pops his head back up.
Because he directed this.
He directed this, and this was his first directed movie.
And I think he did a great job.
Oh, dude, he was, it's not like, I mean, it's not, like, I just was so happy to meet him and be a part of it.
It's a sweet film, and I also like movies like that where there's very few characters.
Yeah.
The interaction happens maybe over the course of a short amount of time, and it's very insular.
Yeah, it's like a thread that kind of just...
Yeah, it's like a play.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
And he was the best. And so he goes, so we rehearse. 2 tight rehearsals really quick. That whole thing that you saw with Alice Eve and me and him. We stop rehearsal. He ducks his head back down, and he goes, and I'm fucking bragging here. I don't give a shit. This is Captain America, so I don't give a fuck. He says to me, he goes, you are excellent. I just have to say, whatever you're doing is excellent. But here's what happened. We're about to roll, and I go, oh my God, I don't remember the lines.
He got in your head?
Because he got in my head. I don't remember the lines. And all of a sudden, I swear to God, he's talking. Okay, action. He's talking. His line, their line, Alice's line. I go, my line's coming up. I don't know what it is. I swear, as soon as he stopped talking, the line just sort of came out of my mouth. And every word that I said in that first take was like that. It was like having a baby through my brain. And I didn't like the feeling at all because that had never happened. I don't know what I could. It was like a glitch in the mental matrix of whatever I am and whoever made or created. But after that, I felt good and I never flubbed, but I was also kind of scared. And after I was done, that scene took about 4 hours to shoot because we had to do, turnarounds and whatever. When I was done, he found me. I was leaving this is Grand Central Station, outside, inside. Like production was set up inside, but also outside. But it was all over. He found me through a maze of people, and he grabbed me, and he shook my hand, and he hugged me. He goes, dude, you were excellent. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And maybe he was just being nice because it was his first directed film, and he just putting his best foot forward. But you know what?
Like
I think he is like that too, and I want to work with him again. And I will connect with him in some, I don't have his number on my thing, but like that. I will always keep my mind out.
I've got it. I'll give it to you.
Thank you, dear. You're awesome.
Sorry, there's a frog in my throat. Whenever I lie.
Do you ever kiss the frog in your throat just to see if it turns into a prince? Or
I've given up that long time. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, you're an attractive lady. I don't know why you. But not everybody that's attractive gets good stuff from the world because they're lured in by the attractiveness and not maybe what's coming out of the attractiveness.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that compliment.
You're welcome.
Also, I
don't
think
blush, please.
That when you're doing your own thing and stuff, that becomes the thing you're doing. And so that other stuff is more extraneous and maybe not as important. And then when it does happen, you're like, oh, great, it's happening. But you're not.
In terms of what?
Finding a person.
Oh, yeah.
If you're... I don't think looking for it is the way to...
Oh, yeah. I don't... The whole business of looking and putting yourself on an app, good for you. Not hating on it, but I will judge it for...
I was not good at that. I tried it for 3 days. I was terrible at it.
I tried it for 1 day, but I'm like, what? I got to pitch my resume to you? Get the fuck out of here. I already do it anyway. I don't... My whole thing in life is not to find a mate. I think the mate will come. I've learned a lot from mates.
If you're doing it right, she will.
No, yeah. And it's... I don't go out. I'm too busy trying to grow my bag, and so I can... I've had experiences like that. I've had, and none of those experiences is a waste. You learn from it. If you're not learning from it, because there's two in a relationship, and because somebody might be a little crazy than the other, you're in that too. Right. So it's not, if you don't learn from it, you are just bringing your shit to the next relationship.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
I've managed to stay friends with most of my exes.
And the whole business of it is kind of like, I need to get a mate, and I understand if you want to procreate, and that's a thing, that's a real thing, but the whole business of trying to do it, and that's what that's where your value is. It seems very interestingly not okay with me in the way I live, that I need to find value in another woman or whomever I love to be able to add that value to my life. I can either do it alone or with friends, and if it comes, it comes. I'm not hating on other people that that do it, but I guess I am kind of too. I'm just saying, be aware of what you're doing and what you're asking for, because you're putting it into somebody else who also shits their pants and when they were a kid and ate boogers. Just like, what were they doing? You didn't know them before this. You're bringing your...
Yeah, that's anxiety. I think people bring a lot of their own anxiety and fear
they do.
To the table. And we are constantly told from day one why we're not good enough and special enough and all that kind of stuff. So it makes sense that there is a sense of urgency for some, that they think, oh, if I don't jump into this, maybe I'll lose my chance altogether.
Yeah. But let me talk about my mom for a second. My mom never had and doesn't care to have a mate after my dad. She's 72. She's still young. She doesn't give a shit about that. But she didn't have what we have today, and for many, many years, what most modern people have today.
A vibrator?
Is that. She probably does, I don't know. I don't think she does. Is options. And the idea of balancing options, kind of like if you go look for an apartment, you're using 5 different real estate agents, and real estate agents know there's no fucking loyalty in this business, and that's part of the game. But too many people in big cities have too many options. Oh, you check off 3 boxes out of my 5 must, so your this date is over. My mom never did drugs, smoked, drank, and went through all the travails and troubles in fucking life without that shit. We're so convenient with all the shit and abundance that we have. We don't even value it. I'm not perfect at it. We all have to have balance. So if you're an Aries or something like that and you're impatient or not thoughtful sometimes,
Taurus,
you have to balance that. You have to. You can't be like, I'm an improvisational guy. It works for acting, writing music, off the cuff funny moments if I'm hanging with my friends, but it doesn't work if I'm trying to cut somebody off, because I don't want to cut somebody off. It's just your mind, it's your infrastructure, and if you don't watch that, you could be your own enemy.
Absolutely.
But if you dance with the cosmos and do what Keanu Reeves does, or what he aims to do in that movie, or finds out that's what he needs and not what he wants, you're going to be good.
Yeah, and I think that, and I say this a lot on this show especially, is that we spend our lives looking at what the other thing looks like instead of starting with ourselves. If we start with what we feel like in a thing, whether that's a job, a relationship, family, a conversation, all we have is ourself, really. We bring your best self to the table, and then we can start talking about...
Exactly.
But, I mean, it takes a long time to find what that is.
It does, and there's some things like with Hicks says, segment intending. When I drove over here, I wanted to get out. I told you why. I wanted to experience coming over here and also get out of my house, because doing NFTs, I'm plugged to the computer a lot, and it's good to detach from that, right?
Sure.
So this is really nice to be here, but also it's segment intending, what Esther Hicks says. If I'm going to take a drive over here, how do I intend that drive to be? Do I want to be like, it's all about me, and I want to cut people off, and I want to, hey, fuck you, and talk to people as I'm driving and play the music loud? What do I want that drive to be like? When I go shopping at whatever shopping store for like groceries, how do I want that to be? You don't have to go, this is how I want it to be, and you can, but you're segment intending. If you're going to a party, how do you want it to be? Do you just want to get fucked up and get laid? Yeah, sure, that's probably most people's thing. But that's so callous. What is at the end of getting laid besides just like, oh, cool, it's like a notch for your history books. It's not even that valuable. You know what I mean? Yes, you should experience it because we're sentient and sexual beings, but what are you doing? You are not your name. You are not your fucking t-shirt. You are not what your friends think you are. You are just like this innocent person that has a bunch of sins on them, I'll say. Not sins like against religion, but like we've all lost our way. And if we just take away that fluff, you're just like, man, I'm just this person, this thing that's emanating through this skin. What is that? It's unbelievable, and that's fucking pure. Now, I'm not always talking through that because I'm a person. I'm a human like everybody else,
Sure.
But
were you raised religious?
Yeah, I was raised Muslim. But I went to Catholic school from 2nd grade to 4th grade. Explain that on the next podcast. That's unbelievable.
That's confusing.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
You know what, though? I love that because I think it's important to see how everything is connected. And that's a nice dualism to live within.
It certainly is. It certainly is. People are in their own way, and I don't look at money week to week now. I don't look at it from the ground up like, oh my God, it's over there and I'm trapped under ice. I look at it down. and the value of it is much bigger in what I could do with it and move it around and help people. If I want to teach somebody about NFTs or screenwriting or acting and pitfalls, I'll do it for fucking free. I don't want to do a TikTok for it because I got to do it every day. But if you want to pull me aside and you really, like, you can't just say, I have an idea for a screenplay. No disrespect, but everybody has an idea. Are you going to be sitting there and being told no, and do it for 28, almost 30 years like I've been doing it? I don't want to do anything else. I want to learn other things, but until I fulfill whatever it is that I'm trying to fulfill, it's all about helping people. And I wasn't talking about making millions. I just want my life to change. I want it to be, different than what it was the last, whatever years I've been alive.
Yeah.
I want it to look, I'm owed that, I'm owed that to myself because I'm thinking about it. I can't not stop thinking about it in a way, And I'm showing my daughter, like, she's 20 years old now. I'm showing her not giving up is like, I'm on so many television shows and some of them are her favorite. She's like, I'm showing her what it's like to fucking, you think about something, you go do it, you can go get it. It's maybe not easy, but that's going to separate us.
I mean, much of the thing that stops us is ourselves, right? We put our roadblocks up for ourselves way before anyone else is going to.
Yeah. It's not always going to work. You have to learn how to dance with it. Where your impatience works for you as an improvisational, impulsive, great things like coming up with a great idea on the spur of a moment, or not reacting when somebody, say, pushes you, or not reacting, like physically or in a text. Take a breath, think. Believe me, I've learned. I've learned this, and I've learned late in my life. I used to get away with good looks and my charm and funniness and comedy. But, later on in life, I go, oh my God, I did that? And I was getting in my own way. Yeah. And then you have to wrap up all these threads of fights that you have. It's no bueno. I have no fights like that at all, in my life. For somebody
like you whose mind is working quite rapidly and going in a million different directions, how do you stay focused long enough to say, memorize lines and things like that? Do you have a process? Yeah,
I grab lines really, really fast, and I turn everything off and I go into a room and I just go over it. And then I grab them really fast, and I see the lines as pictures on the page. So as my mind is reading on the page, as I'm getting it into my body, I actually see it. But then the page goes away and I actually have it. I've always been a good memorizer. I have a very vivid imagination, and I have very vivid dreams, and my mind has always been like that. Fast, talking, this? My brother's like the same way. My brother has a very, I think he has even more ADD than I do. Tips on acting, tips on like coaching. You need some coaching, I will help you. If you need some screenwriting, I will help you. Guidance in life, I will help you. I'm not like the perfect life person, but I got my shit tight.
So were you married, and that's when...
I was never married, no.
Okay, all right.
Never married.
Reference a daughter.
I had a daughter in New York. That's why I stayed there for so long. And she's just, I've just connected with her. I used to, she's just in my life.
I love that she lives next door.
Oh, dude, she moved here like 3 or 4 years ago, and she's like going to be 21 next month, and she's like a 40-year-old. She's just like, she doesn't drink, she doesn't party. I don't know how I got lucky, but I said, listen, if you ever party, come home. I'll help you come down. That's it. I don't need to punish you. It's already a punishment. I love you. You can be firm, but you can't be like, like, no, you can't. No, you can't do that. You can't push a wet spaghetti noodle into a hole. You can fucking try, but I'm gonna pull it toward. I'm gonna pull, like, you're in a setting and you go, I want to be like that guy over there. I want to be like him. Bring that motherfucker to you. Why are you? He already is doing his thing. The paradigm that he has done got him there. What paradigm are you doing that is going to propel you to that? You can't say, when I get off work, I'll be okay. Yeah, that's a wild guess. That's probably a good hypothesis. But you can be good now. Either make a decision to get out of your job forever, because apparently you have this glitch in your head that thinks you're only good when you're done with work. I know it sounds very easy, but figure it out. And also, it's like, when I have money, I'll be generous. No, the universe doesn't respond to that. Yeah. Do that paradigm now.
I agree.
I'm telling you, your life will fucking change.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all creators. I mean, the greatest trick religion ever played on anyone is to tell them they're not God.
Yeah. I personally think that pay attention to that.
But faith now? Are you just
no, I pray to God. I say prayers in Turkish to it or whatever it is. When I was a kid, I asked my brother later on in life, I said, do you have an image of what you think God is that you grew up with? He goes, yeah, George Washington. I always thought God was George Washington, the big image of, and I said, you know what? That's just crazy. I thought I always had a vision since I was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, because Star Wars came out in 1977, that C-3PO was God, but like a very, very tall, big, I mean, so prodigious, you know. And that's just the way. But now I don't think that way. I just think, hey.
I love that you thought a computer was God. It fits into the whole, this is an algorithm that we're all playing out.
Oh, probably. I have so much faith in me. The things I can't do, I just don't do. The things I'm not interested in, I just don't do. But the things I'm interested in, I just try to excel in them, and I just see them fully through. I'm a completion artist. I like to complete things. It's just the way that I am. You know, I try to balance my impatience, and it's worked out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on on IG at Troy Caylak. It's TroyCaylak. You can find my music, Johnny Muhammad, my band Johnny Muhammad, at JOHNNY MOHAMID, and that's on Spotify and every fucking other platform. And I don't know, Twitter is Troy Caylak as well. And if you're an ape or you're a gutter cat gang or all my I don't know, God, I own so many NFTs. Just follow me and we'll talk, and I'll add you to my crypto and NFT groups, and we can just grow our bags together.
If somebody wants to reach out to you that's listening that wants to know more about NFT, because it's a mind-boggling for most of us laymen. It's Can they do that?
Yeah, of course. Just hit me up, man. And I don't know. Yeah, I got so much to talk about, man. I love people, and I want them to feel good about themselves. That's all I want. You know what I mean? That's the currency. People, don't forget that. The government is using us as their currency, and we can combat that. Okay? It's not an even playing field, but you can do that. All right? So let's get smart. Let's get connected. I love you all.
Yay.
And that's all I got to say.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
You got it.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Rate and review Hey Human on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks. Bye.